But for me, it was an investment scam. And I learned, because I'm from Tana River. When I was involved in Nairobi, I learned the hard way that Nairobi is hard. And he called me again personally and told me that, my friend, we have another opportunity for you to invest. But don't bring in small monies like you've been bringing here, 500,000, 5 million. It is $1 million. You have to bring in $1 million. Your Honor, at that time, the exchange rate was 76. Your Honor, I believed that everything would be okay. So I started looking for that money, the family house, because I believed. Your Honor, I lost everything.
You've probably heard the story of the traditional medicine man who allegedly scammed prominent Kenyan politician Danston Mungatana out of 76 million Kenyan shillings, $1 million at the time. But do you know what really happened? It's a mind-boggling story that's almost impossible to wrap your head around. Welcome to the Masters of Illusions Act 1 of the ConNation series, and this is the story of how Abdullahi Tamba, a Chad national, a traditional medicine man, and a seasoned con artist, scammed Tana River Senator Danston Mungatana out of millions. Mungatana claims he was introduced to Abdullahi by a man named Mohammed Amin in 2011. At the time, Abdullahi was operating from Sandalwood Apartments in Nairobi, and this is where Mungatana would visit him. The business dealings between the two lasted a full 2 years, from April of 2011 to April of 2013. The con carried out by Abdullahi, as you will see, was carefully planned, designed to gain Mungatana's trust before ultimately scamming him. Mungatana alleges to have first given Abdullahi 500,000 Kenyan shillings to invest for him, and after the investment period, which was just a few months, Abdullahi gave him back double the amount, 1 million Kenyan shillings. This made Mungatana believe that Abdullahi was the real deal. From the outside looking in, this was a huge red flag, because 100% return on investment is too good to be true. Additionally, Abdullahi doubling Mungatana's money is a common tactic used by con artists, often called a bait and switch, where they lure victims by showing an initial impressive return to gain their trust and encourage them to invest again, often a larger amount of money before vanishing with it. True to this, Mungatana would later tell the court that he was very happy with this first investment, that his 500,000 Kenyan shillings had become 1 million Kenyan shillings. Therefore, when Abdullahi told him that he had another opportunity for him to invest, Mungatana seized it. For this second investment, Abdullahi asked him to look for 5 million Kenyan shillings to invest with him. Mungatana was eager to invest, and he says he borrowed money from relatives and friends and gave it to Abdullahi. And true to Abdullahi's promise, 6 months later, he gave Mungatana 10 million Kenyan shillings. He had doubled his investment in just 6 months. This is unheard of, and again, it's a huge red flag. Once again, by doing this, Abdullahi, the con artist, was priming Mungatana, building trust to lure him into an even bigger investment, one that would mean a huge payday for him. There were definitely other red flags in these business dealings between the two. For example, Abdullahi insisted all transactions be done in cash, which seems intentional since it leaves no paper trail. He also required that all payments be done in dollars, and you shall see why later. Additionally, when Mungatana visited his place, Abdullahi was not shy to display his wealth. He showcased expensive cars, he had bodyguards, and was treated like a king. All this was a show meant to impress Mungatana, gain his trust, making him easier to con. In other words, it was like fattening a sheep for slaughter.
At no time did I suspect anything would go wrong, because, Your Honor, the accused person inspires you with confidence. When you go to his place, even now, you'll find big vehicles, Your Honor. His apartment is richly furnished. He has many servants who are watching over him. And they treat him like he's their king. So every time you go there, you have no reason to think that your money has any risk. And given the history of returns, I was confident that it's okay.
After the first two investments, having gotten Mungatana's trust, Abdullahi went for the killing. He allegedly asked the politician to make a third investment, this time of $1 million. At the time, this was about 76 million Kenyan shillings. Abdullahi promised to invest this money in the oil industry. Mungatana says he did not hesitate to look for the money, and he went to extreme lengths to look for it. And understandably so, because remember, he was expecting a 100% return on investment. In that, he would put in $1 million and get back $2 million in a short period of time. To raise the money for the investment, he says he mortgaged his home in Nairobi and sold stocks, held in his name and in his late wife's name. He even went to the bank and took short-term loans using their cars as collateral. He went all out to raise the $1 million. Little did he know, he was about to be taken to the cleaners and wiped out clean.
I started looking for that money. Your Honor, I sold properties that were in my name, sold shares that were in my name and my late wife's name. We had cars that had logbooks in our names. We went to the banks and Your Honor, we took short-term loans over those logbooks. Your Honor, I had a home in Karen where my children were living, my family was living. A big home which had 7 bedrooms, Your Honor. And literally, Your Honor, by that time, as an advocate with the High Court, as a member of Parliament at the time, that was the biggest investment I had made. A house worth 70 million at the time. Your Honor, I went to make short-term mortgage arrangements. And I took that money, Your Honor, my house, the family house, because I believed. Your Honor, I lost everything. Why? Because after I borrowed from banks, I borrowed from friends, I borrowed from family, I sold everything I had, all the wealth I had accumulated at the time. And every time I sell, I convert into dollars and take to him. That man, Your Honor, that man, I used to take to that man. Little unknown to me, he was just laughing at me throughout. making a mockery out of my life, my life savings.
After he got the money, he gave it to Abdullahi, who then switched off his phone and vanished, leaving the politician in debt and financially ruined. Later in court, Mungatana explained how Abdullahi's con had affected his life. He says that even his late wife found it hard to believe that he had been conned, understandably so, because it's difficult for them how Mungatana, an educated lawyer, could be deceived in such a manner. After losing such a huge amount of money, which left him in financial ruin, Mungatana reported the matter to the police. It turned out he was not the only victim. According to the police, 2 other Kenyans had lost a total of 14.7 million Kenyan shillings to Abdullahi's schemes. Abdullahi was arrested on 1st October 2018 at Sandalwood Apartments, where he was operating from. During the arrest, the apartment looked like something out of a movie. Police recovered over 1 billion Kenyan shillings, that is over $13 million at the time, in fake US dollars and euros. They also found a machine for printing counterfeit currency and what they deemed as witchcraft paraphernalia. As per the statement released by the police, Abdullahi claimed to be a traditional healer who could pray for Kenyans to double their money. Another shocking revelation was that some victims gave Abdullahi legit money to invest or pray over so it could double, but he would return fake money as their profits or doubled prayers. The police also established that Abdullahi and his son had been in Kenya for over 10 years without proper documentation. When the criminal case against Abdullahi started, he faced 4 charges. He was accused of having papers designed to look like real currency, committing forgery, and 2 counts of obtaining money by false pretenses from Danston Mungatana and 1 Makau Muteke. For Makau, Abdullahi had conned him 700,000 Kenyan shillings, approximately $6,700 at the time, claiming he could invest the money in a business on his behalf. In September of 2023, the court found Abdullahi guilty of 3 counts: possession of counterfeit currency, forgery, and obtaining money from Makau Muteke. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison. He was acquitted on the count involving obtaining money by false pretenses from Mungatana. Abdullahi was acquitted of defrauding Danston Mungatana of 76 million Kenyan shillings because the prosecution failed to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, largely due to a lack of direct evidence. The court noted that it was essentially Mungatana's word against Abdullahi's, as no eyewitnesses testified to seeing the money handed over. The prosecution also failed to provide first-hand testimony or tangible evidence, such as bank statements or withdrawal slips, linking Mungatana's funds directly to Abdullahi, which further validates our earlier point that Abdullahi, insisting on receiving the money in cash, leaving no paper trail, leaving no evidence, was a calculated move for him to cover his tracks and avoid legal accountability. Abdullahi did appeal the conviction and sentence, raising several issues in his appeal, including that the trial court had not properly considered the time he spent in custody prior to the sentencing, that the charges were defective, and that he should have had the option for a fine or alternative sentence. He also requested an uncustodial sentence due to age and health issues. The Court of Appeal made its decision in May of 2025. It agreed that the 219 days Abdullahi had spent in custody before sentencing had not been fully considered, so the court deducted that time from his sentence. However, the court rejected his request for a non-custodial sentence and upheld the rest of the conviction. This case is a reminder of how easy it can be to fall for scams. As you invest, number 1, beware of promises of extremely high returns. Any investment that guarantees you unusually high returns in a short period of time is usually too good to be true. Number 2, cash only and untraceable transactions are red flags. Always ensure you have receipts or written proof of transactions. Lastly, don't use someone's wealth as a measure of trust. Just because someone is living big does not mean that you should invest your money with them. Thank you for joining us today. If you made it this far, we hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, like, share, or comment. It really goes a long way in helping us keep the lights on. In the meantime, remember, anyone can be a scammer and anyone can be scammed. So please take care, stay safe, and always trust your gut.